The employees at doggy jail said that our 2 dogs needed to be picked up because they broke into a Walgreens grocery store, ate lots of snacks, and terrorized customers. Welcome to Life Unleashed,
the podcast all about creating the best life for you and your furry best friend.
If you're a dog mom on the go, juggling life, work, and the endless joys of being a dog parent, then you're in the right place. I'm Dani.
And I'm Nick.
And together with the incredible dog mom community from Tails Up Pup, we're here to share advice, stories, and the obsession we have over the love for our dogs.
Get ready to laugh, learn, and lean on each other because life with your dog just got even more awesome.
Welcome back to the Life Unleashed podcast. Today is going to be so fun because we're sharing y'all's stories. And this is going to be basically horror stories that you've encountered with your dogs.
Oh, gosh.
There's 2 types of podcasts I love listening to. The ones where people write in and ask for advice on like a life situation, and the ones where people tell stories and it's just like so shocking you can't believe it. So
do you like the radio shows when like they call in
Yes.
and they're like, this is what's going on, and then the radio host like helps them solve it?
Yes, because I don't have drama in my life and I don't want drama in my life, but I like drama in other people's lives because it's like a TV show. Mm-hmm. So I put on Instagram and asked y'all to share some of your most embarrassing or funny stories with your dogs, and y'all did not disappoint. So we are going to be sharing those today, and Nick also has some from our lives that he wants to share as well. I couldn't really think of any. He was telling me and I'm like, yeah, I just blocked these out of my mind.
Yeah, we've had our fair share.
Yeah. So Nick has not heard these stories either. So we will get his raw reaction. I was laughing so hard at some of these. I didn't have high hopes. I didn't think people were going to tell me their stories, and they did.
I just thought of another one of Holly.
Do you want to start with one?
They're all Holly.
Holly is...
No, one of them's Grace.
Most of the time, Holly is the problem child. Grace is an angel.
Yeah,
we call her Angel Pie Baby Sauce. She is the Angel Pie Baby Sauce of the world.
If you guys have 2 dogs at home, 2 or more dogs, I'm sure you guys probably have the one problem child. Maybe you don't. Maybe they're all problem childs, or maybe they're all angels.
If they have 2 Goldens, they might have 2 angels.
2 angels.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes Grace can be wild.
She has a lot of energy, but she never makes bad choices.
Sometimes she does.
Wait, I am thinking of one. Let me start with a story.
Okay.
When we were in Pennsylvania and we went for a walk, I think we had just gotten back from a walk with my mom, and my mom was making lunch and put her lunch on the table, and we all were just talking, and we turned for my mom to go pick up her lunch, and Holly had eaten it.
Oh, I thought you were about to say a thing about Grace. Yeah.
No, of course not Grace. Grace is the Angel Pie Baby Sauce.
Yeah, Holly did eat. Did she take a full bite out of it, or
she
what?
ate more than half my mom's lunch.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was like a thick type of like soup almost.
Yeah, it was like a chili or something, and Holly devoured it.
But she did it very quietly. We were literally all right there, and no one noticed until it was halfway through.
Okay, but let's share some of y'all's stories because y'all had some good ones. Okay, I'll try to keep these stories anonymous, but one person's story uses their dog's names and it's essential, but we won't start with that one, okay?
Okay.
This person writes in, when I was a kid, my 2 very sweet but also very hyperactive dogs got out while we were at school. My mom picked me up from school and got a call from what she refers to as doggy jail.
Doggy jail?
Most people call it animal control.
Oh no.
The employees at doggy jail said that our 2 dogs needed to be picked up because they broke into a Walgreens grocery store, ate lots of snacks, and terrorized customers.
Are you kidding? This sounds like it could be a movie.
That's what I said. After a few minutes of hysterically laughing, we drove to doggy jail and picked up our pups, and then stopped by Walgreens and paid for all the merchandise that they ate.
Oh my gosh.
I can't remember the exact cost of the snacks the pups chose to devour, but my mom was appalled, and our family was asked to never shop at that location of Walgreens again.
How did they get into the Walgreens? Is it like an automatic sliding
Most of them
door?
have automatic doors. Yeah.
Oh, come on. Your dogs get out. They go in there, and then you come and rectify it by paying for it, and then you're asked to never show up again. It's not the dog's fault.
Yes,
the dog's
it
just
is.
being a dog.
It's the dog's fault.
Well,
they were mischievous.
Well, they were mischievous, but the parents came and rectified it.
Honestly, when people are like, I was kicked out of that place for life, who's monitoring that? No one would ever know, that they were the dog people.
Doggy jail.
Doggy jail.
Well, we've had some instances where we've found dogs, whatever, and returned them to their owners. But I guess if like a good citizen doesn't find the dog or whatever, or like they're being too wild or they're in a Walgreens, then maybe they do have to call animal control to come, rile them up.
I mean, who else would you
round
call?
them up? Yeah.
Yeah. And if they didn't have like a collar with a number on it.
As you were reading that story, I could literally picture it happening in my mind.
That's why I pictured a movie. I'm like, this would make some good content.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I could see Grace going pretty wild in a store.
Gracie will do anything for food.
Yeah, she would definitely eat some of the sausage.
Sausage.
Yeah, probably sausage or ham, like the meat section, I think, where she'd go.
Yeah.
She'd get into the deli.
This one comes in from someone near and dear to our hearts.
We know this person?
Yes. I mean, I know all these people, but you also really know this person.
Oh, goodness.
I'll tell the story, then you can guess who it is. Okay, so her and her friend were at the town square and crossing the street, and her dog had to go to the bathroom right then in the middle of the crosswalk.
Took a poop in the crosswalk?
In the middle of the crosswalk. Had to stop traffic because she didn't have a poop bag with her. Had to run into Marietta Pizza Company and ask for a bag. Run back out, all while traffic is stopped because her dog's poop is in the middle. And had to pick it up.
When you gotta go, you gotta go. Was it Cooper?
It was Cooper!
Oh my gosh, Cooper.
He's trouble.
That's a horror story, but at the same time, like, he just had to go.
That, when I put
It was bad timing. It was bad timing.
When I was asking people to share their stories, the number one thing I was thinking of was like a dog poop story. Like, that is the most embarrassing thing that could happen to you. Or like if you're on a walk and someone's outside in their lawn and your dog poops on it,
Oh God, you literally would do anything to not have that happen.
That is so embarrassing.
In Danielle's neighborhood, where she lives, her parents live now, there's these little like metal dog statues that says like it's like a statue of a dog pooping, and it says no.
Yeah, people do not want your dog pooping in the yard.
But sometimes, like you said, when you got it, you can't control that. What are you going to do, yank your dog along as they're trying to go?
The motto of life is always have a poop bag. Get a Tails Up Pup poop bag holder, put it on, or get one of our walk bags, have it with you, because you do not want to be left empty-handed. We,
of all people, were almost left empty-handed one time. It was actually during the pregnancy announcement photo shoot. Yeah. Gracie decided to go take a big ol', and we almost didn't have one. But fortunately, Danielle did have the walk bag, and, they had the poop bags
always
in there.
Come in handy.
Thankfully.
We got to stay on the poop trend for a little.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. Me and my now husband were newly dating for about 3 months. I went out of town to visit family, and my new pup was only a few months old. He was being super sweet and stayed at my apartment to watch her for me, and the first night she had explosive diarrhea in her crate that shot all over the wall. Carpet and more. He was so grossed out, and I was mortified because it had never happened before, and he was totally not a dog person when we first met. Now he loves the dog so much. We got a second one, but not a great first impression when you're trying to get someone to like you and your dog.
Oh, explosive diarrhea. That'll do it.
Ooh, inside the house too. And he had to clean it up because you weren't there to help, and he's taking care of your dog. Yeah, I would feel really bad.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that sounds like a mess.
He proved that he could be the ultimate dog dad, and now he is the dog dad.
That was it. Sometimes things like that test a relationship.
Yes.
Is this something that could be a long-term thing, or is this, are you going to run away at the first sign of explosive diarrhea?
Yeah.
Because if you are, it's not going to work out.
He got the green flags.
Yeah, green flags.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Early on, she learned early on that he was a keeper. Mm-hmm. All thanks to the explosive diarrhea.
I'm just like imagining it like on the carpet and on the walls.
We've dealt with that before.
Yeah, that's really sad for the dog.
Okay, this is the one where I have to say the names.
Okay.
Because the story needs it. Okay, I'm spoiling it already. I was at my apartment's dog park playing with Izzy and Elliot when a man was walking by on the sidewalk next to the fence of the dog park. When Elliot started to bark at him, so I said, "Elliot, come here." And the man stopped and said, what? And then I replied,
No, stop it.
I'm just calling my dog. His name is Elliot. And he said back, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to me. My name is Elliot.
What are the odds of that?
Right?
Oh my gosh.
That is so funny.
I'm speechless.
That one was real good.
I can imagine that one happening too. He's like, what?
He's like, wait, how did you know my name? And
why
why am I getting in trouble for your dog barking? Maybe it is the too far of people naming their dogs human names. Maybe we should go back to like Mr. Snuffleupagus. Like,
if you said Mr. Snuffleupagus, come over here, and the man turns and looks at you, then that was meant to be. I wonder, that's got to have happened to people that have a common dog, like a human name, like Elliot.
yeah.
But that's funny.
Especially nowadays. People are getting more dog names and dog names are getting more people names. They're swapping around.
Yeah.
Did you know that dog names are actually the predictor of what will be up and coming human names?
So they're more popular first in the dog world.
Yeah, people will test out new names on their dogs.
Test the water on a dog, and then if it sounds good, then yeah, it could be a baby's name.
Mm-hmm. One of like the ones I heard recently was Freya, which we've seen a lot more dogs with that name, and now it's becoming popular for humans.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking for the trends and names, look at what people are naming their dogs.
Exactly.
You heard it here first.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Dani.
No, you didn't hear it here first. I heard it somewhere else first.
Well, I'm hearing it here first.
Okay, this one's a little long, but you gotta strap in for the ride.
I'm here for it.
So I have 2 doodles, one of which is an extra large and weighs 115 pounds.
Oh my gosh, a 115-pound doodle. Okay.
We decided to do a mobile groomer. When the groomer got here, I asked Ash to go in his harness and walked outside. He appeared calm. I work from home and was feeling lazy that day, so I was in socks, shorts, and a t-shirt, but no bra.
Oh, goodness.
I have the leash wrapped around my hand while I'm showing the groomer what we want done for him. Out of nowhere, our other doodle barks from inside at the window by the front door. Ash got scared and tried running towards the door. He had somehow gotten wrapped around me and I hadn't noticed. He pulled, spun me around, and drug me.
So literally the doodle is dragging her along the ground.
Right into the rose bushes.
Oh.
We have right in front of the house. Let's just say I went flying, got cut literally everywhere except for my face. The groomer goes running to get the dog. Meanwhile, my husband is inside watching through our cameras. I walk inside bleeding and he's laughing until he looked at me and I had thorns everywhere. The lesson learned here, always wear a bra.
Oh no.
I was like, roses are probably your least favorite flower now. She said she took those bushes out.
Yeah. I bet that was painful.
I bet it was painful.
You know, you always wonder, like, if a big dog like that takes off on you, it could, that exact thing can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't leave the house without a bra on. That's, I mean, and you know, unless you want to get dragged through rose bushes, because that's a possibility, it seems like.
Especially at our house, we got rose bushes.
There was one time that we were on a hike and Danielle literally was running with both the dogs because we have like a leash splitter, so they're both on like one leash, and the dogs were taking off, and Danielle could not stop. She was like
help!
Slow down. You didn't fall or anything, but if you would have been drugged.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me of the one thing that the dogs did to me a long time ago.
What?
Remember when I was letting our dogs get water in a river, and they were like wanting to kind of swim, so I jumped out on a rock and we're letting them swim in like the deeper part of the river, and I'm balancing on this rock. Well, I don't know what they saw, but one of them took off the other way and pulled me, and it was probably like February, and I did like a whole belly flop right into this river, fully soaked. Do you remember that, Dani?
Yep, fully drenched. That is a sad time for you.
Yeah, well, at least.
But no one saw.
No one saw, and at least it wasn't rose bushes.
So it wasn't really embarrassing. That's just a sad story.
Yeah, and I had a bra on, so.
Okay.
Just kidding.
This is also someone's just sad story, and I could see this happening to us.
Really?
She was on a hike, and the leash broke, and her dog wasn't trained enough to not be on a leash, so she had to carry her 80-pound dog back to the car.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I know that I'm like now saying that these types of things have happened to us. That happened to me, remember? And I called you.
Yeah.
I tied the broken leash.
Yeah, you were able to tie it in a knot and keep it
I was able to tie it in a
pretty
knot and keep it relatively secure. But carrying an 80-pound dog all the way back, like how did you do that?
I know. You got to be real strong for that. I don't know I could have done it.
Ever since that day, I was like, for a long time after that, I was scarred. I remember I would carry a backup leash.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I feel like maybe I would have tried to like use my shoelace or something.
That's smart of MacGyver, Danny.
Yeah.
Good job. That's a good thing.
Think of anything I could use, but that probably wouldn't work that well.
Not with an 80-pound dog, probably.
No. It just depends like how much they pull, I guess. But Holly pulls a lot.
Yeah, I think the time that the leash broke is back in the day. Holly used to really chew our leashes, and she had basically chewed through it.
Do you have any other stories from our personal dogs?
Well, we've kind of thrown Holly under the bus a little bit. We'll
keep it going.
No, we're gonna use a Gracie story. We were in Pensacola, and we were doing I guess it was our fall photo shoot, and it was going really well. And then Holly was leashed up, and she couldn't go anywhere. But Gracie, she went on the leash because we were doing the photos. And this seagull comes flying right by Gracie, and it lands on the beach, maybe 10 yards in front of her. And then Gracie locks eyes with the seagull. And then that seagull, of course, flew away. And Gracie said, "Oh, I can catch that bird." And so she ran probably a half a mile away.
So far.
And of course, you're really not supposed to have your dogs off leash to begin with. And now she's half a mile down. I'm chasing after her. And it was just finally we did get her back. But that was pretty bad.
The craziest thing is like Gracie's very good at listening and she never leaves me. So like that time she just wanted that seagull. She was gone.
And she had zero chance of catching the bird.
Yeah.
The worst thing that happened to me recently, horror story with the dogs. You remember this, Danny. You weren't there, but it was a nightmare. The dogs and I were hiking, and on our hike that we normally do, there's like this really nice open field, and sometimes I'll let them off leash if there's no one else there. And so I was like, okay, it's a good day. I don't see anybody, let them off. And I was like running along, and I was like, where did the dogs go? They were like right with me. And then sometimes I'll like go over to the side and pee, and like they're right back with me in 2 seconds. Well, I turn around and they weren't right there. And I was like, Holly, Gracie, I could kind of see them like a little bit in the distance. And I was like, what are they doing? It looked like Holly was rolling. And I was like, uh-oh. So I like kind of screamed to get them to come here. And then they came. Holly's entire face was covered in this nasty like cesspool, like the most disgusting smell that you could ever imagine, and it was caked all over the right side of her face. And the kicker for it was I was like probably 5 miles away from getting back, and I had to hike behind her that entire time, and it was so gross that I almost threw up. And Holly smelled. I bathed her 2 times, and she still smelled after that. It took like a week to get the smell off.
Even though you were outside in the open air, you could still smell her so much.
It was horrible.
Yeah, she smelled for a really long time. I don't even know what that was. It was so bad.
Another Holly story is, if you know The Office, we always lock the door because Holly is smart enough to open the doors. And so we lock it. And but one time, Holly figured out a way. I guess we had probably unlocked it. And she got up there and she got out of the front, and she ran over, and she was trying to...
It was out the back. It was someone accidentally didn't close it all the way.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what it was. So it didn't get close, and she had ran all the way around. There's a what is that, a daycare nearby, and they have an outside playground, and she was like outside the fence of the daycare
hanging out with the kids,
trying to play with the kids. But we searched probably for like 15-20 minutes before we found her up there.
Yep, but luckily she didn't go too far, and she was just like, hey kids, I see you guys have hands, want to play ball?
Yeah, she didn't have to go to doggy jail, but there's been a few times where Holly's definitely an escape artist.
Yeah, she will not stay. She wants to go, and I'm like, is your life here not good? Like, you don't know how good you have it.
She always thinks the grass is greener.
Yeah,
that's happened at our house a few times. She's the type of dog that if the front door is open, she's bolting. We have a fenced-in backyard, and there's a gate. Somehow that gate one time, I guess, got blown open or something at night, and we let him out in the morning to go to the bathroom, and Holly made it all the way down to the local elementary school. So maybe
kids.
she likes kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's always like a very stressful thing, and it ends up like being fine if you get them back. But like that 15 to 20 minutes where you're like, where are they? Trying to find them is the worst.
Holly's actually very hesitant of kids, which is why it's funny that that's what she gravitates towards. But with like baby Ava, she has been very loving, and little tiny babies, she's very interested and wants to see what they're doing. And then kids who will play with her and actually throw her ball, she likes that. But anything in between, she's just very hesitant about.
You know, the funny thing about all of these stories is like while in the moment they are like horrifying and either really embarrassing or gross or like something like that, those are the moments that you like will always remember, and like after enough time has passed, you're like have fond memories of that. It's like, you remember when they did so and so?
That's what everyone who submitted a story, I'm pretty sure every single one was like, now we laugh about it.
Yeah, now you can laugh about it.
Yeah. And especially like the ones with like your relationship or like with your mom or whatever, like that's something that y'all will always look back on and laugh and be like, remember that time.
But that's true like for all like crazy memories, like whether it's with us or dogs or whatever. It's like in the moment it can be bad, but then when you look back, you're like, that was really funny. I'm glad that happened.
Do you have an embarrassing story of your own life?
Oh, there's so many. I don't know if that I can think of one to share right now. Do you have one?
I feel like, yeah, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I embarrass myself often, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
There's got to be a good embarrassing story for you where Danielle doesn't like to correct people. So like if someone assumes something about you, you like just roll with it. Like Danielle's the type of person that if they called her like by the totally wrong name at the gym, she'd be like, yep, that's my new name.
There was something like that. What was it?
I'm going to go by, Jessica from now on because they call me Jessica. So that's going to be my new name. I would never tell anybody.
I have a story. I don't know if we should put this on the internet, but we all lived it, so we can just tell it.
Okay.
This is one of my most embarrassing stories that came to my head.
What are you about to say?
Back in the day, we had 2 Tails Up Pup spaces, the one that we're in now and the one across the street. And half of us worked over here and half of us worked over there. And I, at that time, didn't write emails. Ensley mostly writes the emails. Nick's already
I
laughing.
now know what you're going to say.
But I would sometimes approve, like Nick or I always approve the emails. And one came in my inbox that had already been sent out to the world. So I missed the approval somehow. And I was livid when I opened this message because I was like, who wrote this? It was like the most childish email I had ever read. And I went over across the street and I'm like, y'all, who wrote this? And how did this get sent out to everyone? And I blamed it on our marketing team, who is not in our building. They're like a third party that we use.
Yeah, she comes over there and she's like, can you believe that they wrote this email and sent it out or whatever with no approval? Like, why would they say this? So stupid.
And of course, someone in the room had written it, and it was Connor. And he had to go, I wrote that. And I was like, oh gosh, how do I come back from this?
You couldn't. You let your true feelings out.
Yeah, that was really, really bad.
I can't believe
I'm turning red thinking about it.
I can't believe that Connor spoke up after you.
Honestly, props
because you went off
to
for like
him.
3 to 4 minutes on how bad it was.
It was not the best email, but I'm very sorry, Connor, for hating on your email. I do apologize.
Yeah, that situation was epic.
Well, I will end on my embarrassing story. Thank y'all so much for submitting these. They made me laugh. I hope y'all got a laugh out of this.
This episode was really fun, and if you have any other great stories about you or your dog, we could do a part 2 of this because this is really funny. Like, I love particularly the dog ones. Those are hilarious.
Yes. Thank you guys for participating. We hope that y'all have a great day, and now you are leaving with a smile of someone's embarrassing story. Don't forget to give our podcast a 5-star review. That means so much to us. We're so glad that y'all are loving the Life Unleashed podcast, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.